Kayla. Welcome to another episode of the Pink Print Podcast. Today we have creator economy attorney Kayla Moran. She is Miami based, and actually she was the first podcast that I ever went on before we started this.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. That was like 2 years ago. I actually want to start the podcast with the same first question you asked me, which is what's one thing that someone might not know about you from seeing you online, right? That was the question.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited to be here. This is like my first in-person podcast. I was just telling you guys. I mean, I've gotten a lot more private as I've gotten older because now I have a personal brand and it's a personal professional brand. So I think there's a lot that people about like in my real life that don't know, but I care a lot more than I think people think I do. Like
okay.
I wouldn't say I'm an empath, but when you're my person, I go all in and I give too much of myself sometimes. And it's actually something I'm working on of like caring less and like being less on all the time. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that people wouldn't know. It's just, when you go into a profession like being a lawyer that is about handling people's problems or at their worst, it's you internalize a lot. So I'm trying to be better of like putting the phone down and not compulsively checking and, you know, taking more time for myself. And I think people wouldn't know that about me because I am so on all the time and I'm on a bunch of different platforms. And I've been traveling a lot and I'm always out there, but it's like, it's really hard for me to turn off. And that's something I'm really working on right now.
Amazing. That's a great one. No, we totally feel you. Having those boundaries and time for yourself is hard, but it's really important.
Yeah.
If not, you get drained. So for anyone who doesn't know you, please tell us a little bit about what you do. What is a creator economy attorney, which is something specific that you started to do recently, right? And just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got here.
Yeah, so I went to law school, think I was going to do commercial real estate, which is Gio's world, well, residential more so, but I thought that I was going to do real estate law, and I was a dancer my entire life, so it's a little bit about me. I grew up here in Miami, and I was blogging in college for fun. I went to study abroad and I was like, I've never gone international before. So I wanted to like share my experience and like have pictures and like document it all. And blogs were really big at the time. I really enjoyed reading blogs. And COVID happened 7 months into my law school experience. And I was in Tennessee and I was bored out of my mind. And I wasn't really connecting with any of the students, any of my classmates. And so it was my creative outlet. And I realized creators need lawyers because they're getting brand deals. And these contracts are really complex and they don't necessarily know what these words mean, but I knew what they meant because I was in school and I had access to a lawyer. My professors, I could go to them and, hey, can you review this for me? What does this mean? And he was like, why don't you review it for yourself? Because I got a brand deal and let's go over it. And that was a light bulb moment that I was like, oh, I could do this. Like I could brand myself as a lawyer for content creators. And the way that I need to market myself is by being a creator because I need to meet my clients where they're at. So that was a light bulb moment in 2021. That's right when I started the podcast too. And my podcast was kind of my way of learning more about the industry that I wanted to be in because there was no research. There was no outlet. Right. There was nothing. Nowhere could I go and like learn about this world because it was kind of like hush hush, like influencer is a dirty word and no one really wanted to be an influencer and like it's still icky sometimes to people. So,
and no one really shares like how much they're making or like how their deals work. I feel like we don't hear about it that much.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people on Reddit who like are like, do these people actually make as much as they make? Or like, how are they actually making money? Or like, they're so annoying. And it's like, there's just like so much bad associated with being in this industry. But I saw that it was going to become a big thing and it was going to become a business model. And I wanted to be in it somehow because like I said, like I've gotten older. I've started being a lot more private with my life. I don't want to share. Like in law school, I was sharing like my health journey and like relationships and like the ups and downs. And like, I think a lot of my classmates were listening, even though they would tell me that they, oh, that's weird. I think they all were listening. And so like I was sharing too much and I didn't really ever connect super well with those people. And so I learned like, if I want to have relationships offline, I need to respect them offline and not share. Mm-hmm. And like, yes, it's my life. So I'm going to share it somewhat, but like after the fact. I don't need to share it in real time. I need to process it first.
Yeah.
And I realized like that's what these influencers face. Like there's a business here. They need people who are dedicated to this business to advise them and to counsel them and to give them strategy and support them. And what better way than someone who gets it and who is a creator too, but also understands the business and the legal side of it. So that was how it all started. And there was no jobs in it at the time. Like, especially in the legal world, like you could go to an agency, you can go to a marketing agency, you could be a talent coordinator, like working with like on the influencer being the one to send the contract and like negotiate it against the talent, but there was no one representing the talent. And so long story short, I didn't get a job at graduation. I had one, it got rescinded. And I was like, I want to be in this space, and I'm single, unmarried, no kids. Like, if I'm going to do it, this is the time. Mm-hmm. I was 24. I had nothing to lose. I had just moved back to Miami. And I was like, why not now? And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And if it does,
totally
cool. And if I have to, no one can take my license away from me. Thankfully, I passed the bar. I didn't know at the time that I had passed the bar yet, but I did. And I was like, I could always go back and get a real job later. But like right now, why not? And so I worked in personal injury for a year part-time and then built my firm. And then a year later, almost to the day, I was able to quit my day job and go all in on my business. And that's been 2 years that I've been doing that, a little over 2 years now.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is,
goes by quickly to be doing that on your own.
It's gone by really fast. It's also been really hard because if I hadn't been able to live at home, I wouldn't have been able. Now is when I'm really starting to see like, okay, I can move out. I can go take the vacation. I can do all these things. But up until recently, I wasn't financially able to do that. But that was a risk I was willing to take. But, you know, not everybody has that. Like some people, like, you know, if their husband can support them or their partner can support them or their parents, like, you know, the financial resources have to be coming from somewhere. For me, it was that I could live at home and not have to worry about paying rent while I can reinvest everything back into my business. But that's not everybody's situation. And I got really lucky in that. But yeah, so it's a little bit about me. I represent creators and talent managers in their brand deals. I do trademark work as well, business entity formation and strategy, just consulting in general business strategy, helping you, you know, okay, I want to be a full-time creator. What do I need to know? How do I make this go from hobbyist to an entrepreneur? Okay, I want to start a product line. Okay, I want to start a podcast. What are the business things I need to know? Let's get your LLC set up. Let's get an EIN. Let's, you know, your operating agreement, your trademarks, your independent contractor agreements. Do you have vendors? Are you hiring a photographer for a photo shoot? What's the agreement with them? Like, how do you know, any of that type of business legal work is what I do. I don't do tax work, but I do partner with CPAs or partner with your CPA to support you in that. That's another important aspect of it that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah. So. We need to stop you right there because there's so many questions like flooding my head.
Go.
Okay. Number one, I want to backtrack for a second because you mentioned, which I thought was really important, that you were working part-time doing personal injury while you were building your firm. So can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think a lot of people want to know if they're going to start this entrepreneurial endeavor, like, should they just like quit everything and like go balls to the wall and start this? Like, what is realistically the best way to approach that?
Balls to the walls.
I'm saying
I like that saying.
You're like balls to the wall.
Yeah. I mean, I think it has to be a little bit of both, but it depends on. I always tell this to anybody that I speak to, whether it's a law student, a pre-law student. I get a lot of messages like, oh my God, what you do is so cool. You're living my dream life. I'm like, okay, great. But what's your dream life?
Yeah.
Because what you want is different than what I want. Mm-hmm. Like both of you, like you're married, you're engaged. Like I'm single. Like I don't have to factor somebody else's decisions into my life right now. Mm-hmm. Do I know that will change at some point? Absolutely. But, you know, you have to meet yourself where you're at. And at 24, I could do that. So if you're married and you know you want to have a baby in the next couple of years, can you go all in on your business? Unless your husband's supporting you, probably not, because what happens with maternity leave? You know, when you want to go on a honeymoon, who's going to take care of your clients when you're gone?
Right.
You know, you need to have a contingency plan.
And so at what point did you decide to leave your part-time? Like when was the time that you could leave your part-time job to continue?
Yeah. So I think to answer the first question though, like I think you have to go all in on your business, but you can't treat it like a side hustle, but you're doing it on side hustle hours. And when it gets to a point either financially that you're making more money doing your own thing and it's usually both, you're spending more time on your side hustle, your business, than at your day job. And like you can't do both anymore.
That was super well said.
Because it comes to a point where like you physically cannot do both. And I was working, you know, I was part-time on paper, but to my clients, I was full-time.
Yeah.
And there was days where I was working until 11, 12 o'clock at night. And don't get me wrong, I still do that now. And I work on weekends. I'm trying to be better about it, to have an actual like life.
Yeah.
But there's days where that's going to happen regardless. But I was like, why am I doing this if I don't really enjoy it? And like, this is time I could be spending on my own business. It's taking away from this. And like, I don't enjoy the clients that I'm working with. I'm making decent money, not good, but like decent money on my own. And again, I could live at home. So I could take quote unquote a pay cut, you know, and like I could ride the wave of like if I had a bad month, because I didn't have to worry about paying rent. And that's why I chose to live at home for longer.
I would do the same.
Yeah. And I think and not everyone has that option though. Like we're lucky that in Latin culture, for the most part, it tends to be pretty common. American culture, not so much.
Yeah.
Or
if you move cities, like if you have no choice. Yeah.
Or if you don't have a close relationship with your family, like those are not always feasible. But for me, and if it is, like use that resource.
Yeah.
Again, like I know people who did it, who their husband was like, I will support you. Like, please live out your dream. That wasn't my situation. But like, if you have it, by all means, but make sure it's both of you agree that like there is going to be months where you don't make a lot of money. And he can cover that. You know, I think factoring in like if you're planning for a wedding, if you're planning to buy a house, like those are all things like making sure you have enough money coming in to cover your base expenses. So that's the other part of your question, is knowing how much money you need to bring in every single month baseline, like to live. You know, what are your bills? I had student loans, car insurance, health insurance, phone bill.
Yeah.
Groceries.
Yeah, no, we talk about this all the
time. No, I was gonna say we like to know where our money's going, what we're spending on, what's our budget.
To know what the budget is minimum.
Absolutely, yeah.
But a lot of women don't.
A lot of women don't. A lot of people are too afraid to look at their credit card statements, or they're too afraid to look at their budget. So like for me, I have been budgeting since high school. My parents, luckily, again, paid for everything, but they were like, "You want a car? We'll pay your car insurance, but you're paying gas."
Yeah.
And I worked because I got a job to be able to pay that. So when I went to college at 17, they're like, we will pay your tuition, we will pay your loans, or your housing, and like your surety, but you're only getting X amount of money for fun from us. The rest you are working for. If you want to go to dinner, you want to get your nails done, that's on you. Yeah. So I started calculating that in college, mind you, this was 10 years ago, $350 a month is what I needed to be able to afford on my own, separate from what my parents were covering. So I would work and I would have a $10 an hour job, you know? Yeah. Fine. And in law school I needed to be making about $1,500 because my rent was $850 and now that's on me. I'm paying it from my loans, but I needed to budget my disbursement. Totally. Yeah. Because I wasn't going to work my first year. And then the other 2 years that I was working, that would help. And I ended up being able to pocket some of my loan money and pay it back immediately. But that was because I was being so really frugal. On top. Yeah. Yeah, like people were living in the nicest apartment in Knoxville. I was like, I will live in the shitty college kid apartment. Not the shittiest, but like pretty bad. Yeah. Because I'm never here. I'm going to live in the library. Why do I need like a super... I also don't come to my house. I don't want anybody here. So I didn't mind living... Like I didn't live in a glamorous... Yeah. I wanted it, but like it was $1,500 just the apartment. And I was like, then I don't have any money to go get my nails done, go get my eyebrows done, go to drinks for happy hour with my friends. Yeah, it's not worth it. It wasn't worth the trade-off. It wasn't worth it for me. So I think when you know what your budget is, and for me, the first 2 years of my business, it was about $3,500 to $4,000 a month that I needed to be able to bring in for expenses of my firm. Yeah. Plus, again, nails, gas, one nice dinner a month. Mm-hmm. You know, if I want to go to like Mila or like one of the fancy, like
insurance, whatever.
I counted for that.
Yeah.
Now it's probably a lot higher than that because I'm scaling my law firm. But literally got my books back from my accountant yesterday, my P&L. I don't know if you guys know that as a profit and loss. Of course. Like, you haven't listened to this podcast. I haven't. In all honesty, I have not. I need to. But I'm working on my info diet. We could talk about that after too. But she was like, your expenses are fixed, and we know that now. You're finally, this month, you're seeing top line, your profit. We need to we're going to start seeing it a lot more now. So, you know, got to make sure that these are your fixed expenses. Like, it hasn't moved a lot, but let's see what we can reduce and like what we know for a fact this is going to be. So you can start seeing the money come in. And now you have more profit, which is good because now I'm hiring. Mm-hmm. And I may want to go live in New York for a month if there's a conference, or live in LA for a month because there's a conference and there's multiple events and I need to be there. Or I want to go on a freaking vacation, you know, or one day I want to start saving for a house or future saving for a wedding that I don't know who it will be, but like I got to think about those things, right? You know? So I think that when you know how much money you need to be bringing in and you start making that money regularly, not just 1 month. 1 month is great, but can you double it? Can you do, or not double the money, but like, can you do it again? Or can you double the money? Where you're able to now also putting away money for savings. You don't have a 401k when you leave and when you work on your own.
No.
You know, Roth IRA, SEP 401k, health insurance, like those are things you give up. You have to pay your own taxes quarterly now.
You're talking to two independent contractors.
Yeah. Independent contractors struggle with it too, but like when you're on your own, like you're essentially a 1099 for a lot of people until you build out your own LLC and then eventually hopefully an S corp. Yeah. So thinking about all those things, the fees, annual fees of having an LLC, the reporting fees, like all these, you're paying an accountant, like that all gets factored. When you can reasonably make that and still put disposable income away for yourself to go out, and you're not giving up. I mean, maybe you can't go spend $300 at Zara every month like you used to, but like, can you still go to a nice dinner? Like, don't stop living your life. Yeah. But like scale it back a little bit, and or when you're doing too much at work, like for your own job, that you're not necessarily focused on your day job. Like I think those were and so 1 year in, I was willing and able to scale back my life enough to do that. And it's taken 2 years since then to really feel like, okay, now I can afford to move out. Now I can afford to do other things and like go back to being an almost 28-year-old girl that like also has a life on her own outside of work. Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's literally currently my journey.
Yeah. So I have a question about when influencers hire an agent, right? They all have like managers and agents and all these things. In my head, I always thought that's who was protecting them. Like, what's the point of an agent other than like outreach? Are there not like lawyers within those agencies? Like, would you be a lawyer within an agency, like a partnership of some sorts, or how does that work?
So I love that you said when an influencer hires an agent, because a lot of influencers don't think of it that way. They think that the agent works for them, but
you would think the agent would be helpful for them. In my eyes,
they do think. They're not. Most of the time, they're not.
Okay.
But it's a mutual beneficial partnership,
right?
Like, you're hiring me, but I'm hiring you.
We're both profiting off each other.
Yeah, you are. Because at the end of the day, I think creators forget that it has to be profitable for the manager or the agent to.
Well, I thought they're going to drop you. They're going to be like, why am I going to have you?
Yeah, exactly. But it also has to be profitable for the creator. Because they're taking 20%. So can you afford for them to take 20% of what you are making? And a lot of creators think that a manager is supposed to bring them work. Or an agent's supposed to bring them work, and like they're just going to scale because now they have someone doing it for them and it's less for them they have to do. Yes, but like yes, and like that it can be true and should be true, but that is not always true. And there's a difference between an agent and a manager that a lot of people, even the people who are in those roles, don't understand. So agents have to be licensed in most states. The big three: New York, California, Florida. You have to be licensed. Most people are not.
That's good to know.
As agents. Most people are not, so they can be managers. What's the difference? An agent can procure employment. They take about 3 to 10% for doing that. And then a manager can take up to 20%, industry standard. But they cannot procure employment for you.
So they're taking more?
Yeah.
And they're not even licensed?
Because they're doing more. Agents' roles is only, here's the deal.
Oh, okay.
A manager's going to say, okay, here's the deal. Do you want to do it? Yes. Okay, let's negotiate. They're reviewing everything. They're doing the back and forth. They're the one, here's the content for delivery. Okay, Gio Brand said, I need these edits back. That's the manager. The agent is just...
Oh, so the manager does do more.
Manager's more. So that's why they make more.
Is the manager working with a lawyer to review a contract? Or are they a lawyer? Never.
Most of them are not.
Probably not, yeah.
And so agents, a lot of them do go to law school. Agents, a lot of
them you have to be a sports agent, you have to be a lawyer, right?
Not have to be.
Okay, that's
Most
interesting.
of them are.
Okay.
They have to be licensed as an agent. It's a different test. So a lot of them go to law school and then don't become lawyers, they become agents. So they don't take the bar. They take the whatever every state calls something else, but the exam to become a sports agent, licensed with the sports, but then they also have to be registered with the Players Association of whatever sport they're in, or the NCAA if it's college. Again, these are things that people don't know that they need to do. Managers have no regulation whatsoever, which is where I come in of like, a lot of managers do what we call unauthorized practice of law. They are acting in the capacity of a lawyer without knowing what they're doing.
I love in real estate. I'm like, consult
an
an attorney. I'm like, listen, I from experience, we know this and that, but
we're like, we are not
to interpret.
Yeah, it's pseudo law. Like a lot of it, you have to know the real estate laws.
Of course.
Landlord, tenant, you have to know certain things, but there comes to a point where it's out of your
my jurisdiction. I'm like, listen, I'm not an attorney.
Purview. Like you don't know enough. Like go find an expert. That's what the lawyers are. We are the subject matter experts.
Yeah.
We consult lawyers every day.
No, yeah. No, and we can consult. I don't want to give you legal advice. I want you to come to me and be like, well, you told me this. It's like, I'm not an attorney.
Any little thing we ask.
Cover your ass.
Like, bro.
Like CYA. Literally CYA.
Yeah.
Who I represent for the most part are the managers. Those are my clients. I represent the management agency, the management company. Because again, some management companies are licensed as an agency. Some are just managers. So there's a distinction there. And I make sure that my clients know, okay, you're operating in agency territory here. Like, be very, very careful. Let's not do this. Let's not say you do this.
So you don't work with creators?
I can.
You can, but typically?
Typically, no, because I'm not cost effective.
Got it.
For them. Again, remember, so the manager takes 20% and pays the creator. Like, the manager gets the money, and then I pay you your 80 and I keep my 20 as a manager. Whereas on the lawyer side, you're paying me up front.
Right.
Or at the end of the month, but that came from another month, so it's the way that it's. So one thing that I'm really working on is a different structure of how we can all work in the same ecosystem together. So it's, my friend coined it, but it's the ATM $ model. So agent, talent's in the middle, manager, and then the money. So who's the boss? The talent, not the agent, not the manager. They should not be telling you need to take this deal.
Right.
Or you be like, oh, I have to take that deal because my manager needs to get paid. Like,
no.
You are, but a lot of times managers will make you take deals that are bad.
So they can make money.
So because they want to make money.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful that
because managers are only making if you close the deal.
Yes.
Kind of like a real estate.
Same thing. Like, there's a lot of work that managers do that they don't get paid for if the deal ends up getting dropped.
Right.
I'm only making 20% as a manager if the deal closes and I get paid on time. If the payment terms are net 90, which is stupid, but that's part of the process that we're trying to fix, you're not getting paid for 3 months. So can you cover expenses? Do you have enough other clients or other work coming in that's net 30, net 45, net 60 to cover the fact that one deal won't come in for 3 months?
So then for you though, at what point would a manager hire you? Like when they are already... Okay, so when they already have a bunch of shit going on.
There's too many contracts that them doing the contract when they don't have enough experience.
Yeah.
Either they don't have enough experience and they don't understand the contracts, or they have too many of them that it's taking away from them
actually doing the working with the talent.
And working with the talent and going with the talent to events and like being there for them and supporting them in what they're working on. But also managers need to understand that if a talent wants a publicist or if a talent wants to start a podcast or a merch line, they don't have the bandwidth nor the resources nor the capabilities to do that, and managers need to learn to let them go a little bit and be like, let me find you a publicist, let me connect you to this person. But a lot of managers are greedy and they want to do all of it because it's more money for them. But in your management agreement, you should have what do they take commission of and what do they not take commission of.
What are things that they wouldn't take commission of?
Up to you to decide, but they should not be taking affiliate income commission. That's you earning it on your own. What did you do? They're not doing anything. Unless it's part of the deal structure. Yeah. Or you have an agreement with them. But like just like your shop my or your like to know it, like they should not be taking that. Right. Some vendors they'll put it in there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like come on, like I'm putting it on my
like
story.
Really
it's my
crazy.
outfit. I bought it. I put it together, and they'll
try because it's money. Podcast. If you have a podcast and you make ad sales, if your manager is not also helping you book podcast guests, they should not be getting or booking the sponsorships. They should not be helping you with that. But oftentimes that's a podcast agency that's doing it. That is or a publicist. That is a different person that is taking that. Also, think about if you have multiple people on your team, can they all work together in the same ecosystem? Because again, ATM $ model, like we're all on the same team for the talent. The agent and the manager work together. And then the lawyer works together with them to make sure that the deal's good. Ultimately, talent signs off. Yeah. At the end of the day, like if talent's like, no, this no longer feels good. Thank you, Kayla, for letting me know. Like manager can't get upset, but they're going to try to come yell at me. Like, why did you do this? It's like, that was not my decision to make. That was talent's decision. Yeah. I'm so sorry. But my job is to CYA. So, these are all the problems with the contract. We were not able to make any red lines. They would not allow us to make changes. Do you accept the risk? If you don't accept the risk, you shouldn't take it. But a lot of them are going to want to because of the money.
Right.
So what sorry, I'm getting a little bit nitty gritty, but
No,
I'm just
like, this is very in depth, but I love it.
No, but I think that's
nobody
where
knows. But I also know that a lot of people are like, ugh.
I think that's where the value is, though. You're really like,
Yeah, but let's say we wanted to become like full-time creators tomorrow, and we don't have a manager or an agent, but we wanted to like reach out to you because we got a brand deal.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'd say realistically, people who are starting out one day to the next.
Yeah, you don't have a manager.
Yeah,
No,
so this is
and
very
you shouldn't,
realistic.
And you shouldn't. And a lot of times people will be like, when is a good time to get a manager? When you can't handle the inbounds yourself, or you don't understand, ask for help.
Yeah.
If you don't know what indemnification means, or how a termination clause works, or what is usage, or what is exclusivity, why is perpetuity a dirty word? What's a scope of work? The business terms of a contract in this industry, that's when you hire someone to help you, whether it's a lawyer or a manager. Hopefully both. I would say lawyer first. Manager is supposed to handle the day-to-day back-end operation side of the business.
Well, I'm thinking in my head, I would hire a lawyer before a manager.
I was gonna say, if you have a lawyer on your side, you're like, I have my fucking attorney. Like,
Well,
review it. We're gonna
also,
negotiate
what I
this.
tell a lot of people is, if you want help with just the inbounds, hire a virtual assistant.
Yeah, or get an assistant, to be honest, to help you with these things.
Get an assistant.
Before someone who wants to take your cut. I don't know.
Exactly. And
It would take a lot for me to get that motherfucker a cut.
Yeah, and you're paying them the flat fee, either $25 an hour or $200 a month for whatever comes in, and then you're spending the bulk of your income on your lawyer.
Right.
And so I do work with creators, like independently, and I love working with creators. Oftentimes they can't afford my flat fees.
Right.
So what I've created is a membership that allows them to get access to me at a discounted rate by being part of my membership. Plus they have the community access where they can ask me a question. It's literally called Lawyer in Your Pocket.
Which I love. I think it's so cute.
I'm surprised no one took that.
We were going to ask you about that anyway. So
Yeah,
you can
so
pop off on the membership.
No one had used that name. I trademarked it. The goal is like, hey, Kayla, I have a question about this contract. And
This seems like a steal for them and like a lot more work for you.
We'll get to that in a second. But
I'd be calling you
instead of paying me each time you call me and I'm sending you a bill, because for lawyers bill in 6-minute increments. I don't know why it's 6 and not 5. Because 60 minutes, I guess it's 6 times 10 is an hour.
Yeah.
I think that's why they do it. It's, to me, it's still, I would rather it be 5. Like 6 is annoying.
Yeah.
But, because we know like 5, 10, 15, 20. But it's 6. So you're not going to get a bill like for 0.8.
Yeah.
Which is 6 times 6 is like $200 something. Instead of you pay $195 a month and you have access to me. You get 1 free call a month with me, like Zoom call. You can ask me questions on Slack at any time. I may not answer you at 3 o'clock in the morning, but you're more than welcome to ask.
No,
at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I will answer it when I get online. But you have access to me that way, where it's like, hey, I have a quick question for you, and it's like I can answer it here, or actually, this is a much deeper question. Do you want to use your call for October? I'm happy to do it now. What time works for you?
Yeah.
Or you can book it like normal, and then we also do a monthly coaching call, which is really just, sometimes they're asking me questions and I'm coaching or providing strategy or consulting. But a lot of times it's really like this. It's a roundtable of like, hey, what's going on in your business this month? How can we support you? Like, do you need anything? Like, think of it as like a roundtable. So it's like, hey, Gio, you're a photographer. I need a photo shoot. I'm doing a photo shoot for my business. Can you come on X date and help me? You're like, cool. Or like, I can't, but I know another photographer friend, like my friend Kat, she can help. Like, they all help each other.
That's nice.
I really like that.
So it's that community aspect. And like, if I don't answer it right away, someone else might have the answer. Or be like, this is what I would do, but hey, Kayla, what would you suggest? And
is
so,
it
like,
mainly women?
It's all women. And I haven't purposely kept it that way, just has naturally been that way.
Right.
And I would much prefer it to be women, because as entrepreneurs that are women, we get it. Also, we'll talk about that. Like, oh, I had a really bad period this month and that really hurt me. Or like, oh, like, does anyone have a good doctor? Like, it becomes so much more than just business and legal.
It's beautiful.
It's a community. And so, yeah, to answer your question, like, you get 2 calls a month. You get 1 individual call with me plus the group call. And then you get 20% off any services a month, excluding trademarks. That will always be excluded because there's government filing fees involved, which we can talk about. but you can get 20% off your another consultation with me if you want another one, or a contract service, and then 10% off any additional services a month. So if we're gonna bundle a bunch of stuff, you'll get a better discount than like my normal services. But you are not a client of the firm as being part of the membership. Mm-hmm. When you book me for a service, that's when you officially become part of like a client of my firm.
Right.
But I also have a newsletter, and like I don't necessarily give legal advice on the newsletter. It's more of like the inner workings of my brain and like the behind the scenes of my business. But I want people to know like the deep thoughts of like what goes into why I care about certain things, what is bothering me right now, what I'm seeing in the industry. Like that's kind of what I talk about.
Right.
In my newsletter, which is every Wednesday. So it came out today.
A weekly newsletter?
It's like 2 to 3 times a month.
Okay, that's awesome. I was gonna say weekly's like, wow, a lot.
The goal is one day to get it to weekly.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're really in-depth newsletters.
I love that.
I would have to like cut out a lot
to make it
That's
more.
awesome.
Well, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, okay, we need to talk about like, okay, because kind of based on your question, you're like, if I'm going to go all in creator tomorrow, like what are the first steps that a creator should think about when it comes to this side of it?
Yeah. So I think it's something I said earlier, like mindset. So what are your goals? Going back to if you want to start your own thing in general, no matter what it is, what are your goals in life? And so, you know, some creators are stay-at-home moms and like this is side income for them. It's their money for themselves, but their partner is taking care of the household, you know, controls the finances of the home. And this is her money to do with what she wants. Is this a part-time thing? Like, even if you're a full-time creator, is it a part-time income? Like, how much money do you need to be making?
Right.
Or is your goals to be...
Like head of the household. Like I need to be making...
Like, are you like one of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives where they're like bringing in all the money?
Right.
What are your goals? How much money do you want to be making a month in this business? Because that will determine, are you a hobbyist? Are you a serious entrepreneur? What protections do I need to get in place? But at the end of the day, what you should always do is have an LLC, a separate entity that is handling the finances coming in of this aspect of your business, separate from your personal ones. Why? Because you creating content is producing an asset. Your intellectual property, your content is an asset. And so with time, it will grow in value. And you want to protect that asset as it grows, because hopefully the goal, you're going to keep making more money. You're going to start working with bigger brands. You're going to potentially start a podcast, start a makeup line, start a product line.
Start hiring people.
You want to have an entity that is keeping all that in one ecosystem, separate from your personal assets.
Absolutely.
You guys talk about this in the real estate world, but it's a similar thing of like, if I got into a car accident and I got sued, they can't touch my business assets.
Yeah.
They can only go after what I as an individual own.
Mm-hmm. Which maybe you have nothing in your name.
Which I don't really have
you have nothing in your name,
in there because it's all of my business. Yeah. That's protected. But the only way to keep that separate is if you don't commingle funds. So with your LLC, you want to create an EIN, which is basically your business's social security number.
Your tax ID number.
Your tax ID number. And that is the entity that you will open a bank account with. And you have a ledger every month of like what comes in, what comes out, who goes to who. When you pay yourself, it's a distribution to owner. That's when I move it to my Bank of America. Otherwise, it's in Chase. I use a different bank.
Yeah. By the way, we literally do the same thing.
No, we do the same thing. Yeah.
Like Chase. It's just funny you said that.
Yeah.
Bank of America, so I was 16, and I was like,
yeah, same.
But yeah, I would say start with getting a business bank account, and contracts, making sure you get a contract for everything.
Can we actually put this example into like real life?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dave Portnoy, Alex Cooper with her whole IP scandal. Like maybe we can break that down for people like in layman terms.
Yeah. So I mean that one's a lot more complex. Like I will do my best. So Alex and Sophia, when they started Call Her Daddy, which I think was really Alex who started it and Sophia came in later, from what I've gathered and sussed out. Even before that. So the way copyright law works is if I fix something in a tangible medium and it is an original work of authorship, I own the copyright. So even better example before I get to that one is Taylor Swift re-recording her masters.
I was going to bring that up too.
Right.
So it's always the one that I go to. Like those are the three, that one and another one are the three examples that I use to like illustrate this.
Yeah.
So the reason she was able to re-record her masters is because there's two copyrights when you write a song. There's the composition copyright, me literally physically writing it on a napkin, and the publishing copyright. So that is what Scooter Braun and his publishing company owned, the publishing copyright. But she, by nature of physically writing it down or on a computer,
writing the song,
an original work of authorship fixed in a tangible medium. That is what a copyright is. You can copyright that. Not everything is copyrightable. If it's used by AI, it's not original, it's not human, it cannot be copyrighted.
Wow, that's a whole new facet.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of layers to this. But that's why she was able to do it. So going back to Call Her Daddy, the reason that they owned the IP was they came up with that name. However, when you are
you're saying Barstool because Barstool owned it.
However, when you are an employee,
but Barstool didn't come up with that name.
No, they did. But,
right.
But when you are an employee of a company, they own it by virtue of you being an employee.
So did somebody not look over their contract when they signed with Barstool?
Probably not.
Probably not. They were so young. They're probably like,
no, they were excited.
But,
but also companies aren't going to, they're not going to let that slide. What Barstool owns is the IP. They own the assets to all their shows.
Of course, yeah.
All their social media personalities, like they own, because they developed them. They created them. Like, yes, they
totally
came up with the idea, but they created.
Like, does Dear Media own all the IP of all their podcasts?
Most likely, yes.
Wow.
So like the Toast doesn't own their IP?
Most likely not.
And if they want to go to Sirius?
That's part of the deal. So
no, it's because they also just happened that they just re-signed with Dear Media.
I haven't looked into the details of it. I know that that's what happened. So they own Sprit Society. Sprit Society is trademarked separately.
You're saying the girls, and but with no job,
Their side, they're another business. They most likely, if they want to go to Sirius, will have to trademark the IP and sell it to Sirius.
And then Sirius will buy the IP. They will now own it
from Dear Media.
It's like, how bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it? Unless
it's like buying a player.
Yeah.
Right? Like of a team. Yeah.
Yeah. It's similar. Unless they trademark it themselves and Dear Media allows them to, and then they lease it to Sirius. You're allowed to use my IP to market my business, which is what I think Alex Cooper has done. Alex Earl's another example. Like, she could do this with Sips Margs and like other stuff. She's licensing her IP to Sips Margs by virtue of being an investor in this company to promote the business and market it and elevate it based off of her own personal brand. And that's what an equity deal is. She gains equity in the company by allowing them to use her name, image, and likeness to market it. So most likely is what the structure is. But going back to Call Her Daddy, Barstool owned Call Her Daddy. The name, the brand, the trademarks, all of it. And so when they left and they wanted to leave, Sophia was willing to stay and change the name, or to go and change the name. And Alex was like, no, I want the name. Like, that is who I am. And so that was eventually the deal that they struck, was that she could keep the name, but she had to leave. And Sophia didn't agree with that. And so that was the rift between them.
Oh, but so then when Alex immediately left Barstool after that? She stayed for a little bit.
She stayed for a little because probably we were still trying to figure out all of that. The paperwork of like who owns what, and she probably was trademarking under her own name, and then she signed with Spotify, and Spotify just has the license to use the Call Her Daddy brand to market the show. But that's where Unwell Network came from, is that Unwell most likely now owns the rights to Call Her Daddy.
So do you think Spotify bought did they buy the IP from Barstool?
No, Alex owns it.
did.
Bought it from Barstool and now leases it to Spotify.
Yeah,
no, because now she's with Sirius.
Okay,
it's
Sirius.
It's Sirius and Spotify. She's with both. So yeah, there's a lot of different, and so that's where licensing comes in. So when you own your trademarks, you have the duty to enforce your rights to the mark, aka you have to go after people who are using it that are not you. You have a duty to do that. If not, what's the point of using it? But also you have the ability to license it for commercial use. So that's where franchising comes in. That's why you have McDonald's, where you guys could own a McDonald's franchise. You pay McDonald's for the right.
Hey, maybe we do that for our next endeavor.
So true.
The McDonald's business. Think of Jet Set Pilates franchise. Like they pay Jet Set for the rights to use Jet Set and open it in a new location.
So should people want to own their IP?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
I feel like when you're naive and just starting off and just starting to get famous, like these big networks will be like, yeah, I'll take it.
For sure.
Sign, boom, you don't own your IP.
They're going to promise you the world. Like, we'll take care of everything. But that is, if you, again, go back to what are your goals?
Yeah.
If you have a vision of being an Alex Earl and Alex Cooper,
you probably want to own your IP.
You probably want to own your IP because you ultimately are going to outgrow these resources.
Totally.
And you're
I
going
feel
to want
like
to do
everyone ends up outgrowing it at some point, or they get a better deal to go somewhere else. Kind of like
Not everyone.
Barstool, Spotify. Yeah. I mean, like the Toast was really considering going to Sirius, and then Dear Media probably made them a hell of a deal.
Okay, think about Ariel Laurie.
Yeah, she's another one.
No, she stayed in Dear Media, right?
I'm saying she's never gonna.
What-
No offense, sorry, Lori.
Okay, you're
but
like, she's probably not going to go somewhere else.
yeah.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
I feel like
yeah.
she's
it
just like
depends.
good with her life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and-
But then I also feel like, what if it's completely out of your control? Like the toast, they got so famous that now, like, what if they're offered to get a crazy
I mean,
deal?
that's what happened to Alex Cooper. Like, you just
Right.
have to wait and like.
Yeah, but that's, again, it goes back to what are your goals in association. At some point, you get so associated with the brand that it's hard to break out of. You have to rebrand.
Right.
Right.
Which is what Sophia was thinking of doing. She's like, I'm willing to leave Barstool because I don't want to work at Barstool anymore.
That worked out
But
well.
I will leave my name and I'll do something else.
Yeah.
And Alex was like, no, like I want my name. That's me. Like that is what I'm doing. And look at the empire she's built because she was surrounded by the right kinds of people. And I think at that point she was already with the guy, her husband now in the early stages. And he knew that business really, really well.
No, it's actually not him. I know who that guy's
it's a
married to.
different person?
Yeah.
I'm always not sure on the timeline, but I knew she had an advisor. Someone was advising her.
Suit
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. I think her boyfriend,
Suit
no?
guy. But I thought they
Yeah.
were the same. Oh no, it was Sexy Zoom Man. Like I was confused too. I remember.
Oh, you're saying Alex, but no, I still know. But
Yeah.
anyway, it doesn't really matter.
But anyway, so the
Yeah.
whole point is you want to have trusted people on your team, and that is my goal. Is yes, I'm a lawyer, but as lawyers, we're also advice and counsel and strategy. And so that's where the membership comes in of like to tie it full circle. Like that's the value that I could provide in the membership, but you get that and so much more when you are a client of the firm. But then
Right.
there are different pricing structures at that point because of the work that we're doing. But
Yeah.
just for the advice and strategy piece, the membership's a really great place to start for a creator just wanting to dip their toes into this business.
Yeah.
So, what are the most common mistakes creators make when it comes to intellectual property?
Not licensing their rights properly to their content. So again, no one ever reads them, but the terms of conditions, terms of service, when you sign up for something and you're like, yes, I read this. And you're like, no, I didn't. You look on Instagram or TikTok, when you
Sign up.
sign up, you've agreed to this, that you own the rights to your video, but you give them a perpetual, irrevocable license to use it by putting it on their platform. The minute you post, CapCut is different. The minute you edit anything on the app, they take it. They own it.
That's fucking
That was
crazy.
why that was a big issue whenever that happened a couple months ago.
Yeah,
early
I
in the spring
remember.
or summer. But Instagram particularly, I think TikTok is like somewhere in the middle. Or probably closer to CapCut because they're owned by ByteDance.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But Instagram, you own it because it's your video, but you give them the license to use it because how else are they going to be able to push it out?
Right.
So when a brand is like, we want to own the content, it's like, you don't get to own it because I'm posting it.
Got it.
So you want to make sure.
What if they want to post it?
It's UGC, you still want to own it, but the license is going to be different. Sometimes for UGC, you are going to have to give up ownership because they rather make it's a take it or leave it offer, which we can get to that. That pisses me off. UGC is a little different, but if it's a brand deal and it is, remember, you are a personal brand of your own. You don't want to dilute your brand by licensing your name, image, and likeness to just anybody. Because then what's the point? You also don't want a really wide exclusivity term because that means you're limiting yourself from working with other brand partners, or you become so associated to a brand that you can't now. Like if I'm known as the McDonald's girl, it would be really bad if all of a sudden I started working with Burger King.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe inauthentic.
it'd be inauthentic.
And
My
no-
audience would be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Right.
So same thing. Like if everything is clean beauty, and all of a sudden you go work with like a brand that is known for using animal testing, that's going to be inauthentic. So you want to be very clear selective with the brands you use.
Yeah.
But also selective with your licensing, your exclusivity terms. Don't sign a deal that says perpetual or for all time or in
Why?
all mediums because it's out there forever and it could be used and cut up and spit up and like changed
A million
in a way
different
that
ways.
it can be unrecognizable and it will dilute your brand. You don't want to be driving down the highway and be like, oh, there's my face on a billboard, but like I never got paid for that. I never
Right.
agreed to that. Also, like, why do I look different? Like, oh, that's AI. You know, like because if you're
Yeah.
giving it to them forever,
They can do whatever they want
they
with
can
it.
do whatever they want with
Yeah.
it. And they're also probably not compensating you properly because you can't quantify.
Right.
No, yeah, because imagine
Forever.
if you see your thing on a billboard now,
can't
you're like, well, I didn't
quantify.
agree to this.
Also, if it's a holiday video and I'm wearing red and green and that's what the brief said, that's not evergreen content. Why do you need it forever?
Right.
Right.
So ask, what are your goals with this content? Where do you plan to use it? How? For how long? Where? Price yourself accordingly. So I think the biggest mistake people make is they're just like, oh man, I'm so excited to work with you, my dream brand. And they're just like, sign.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Like, ask questions.
I love asking questions.
Dig deeper.
Yeah.
You know, and look, they're not going to like it, But at the end of the day, they want you. That's why they came to you.
Yeah.
You hold more power than you think. They hold the purse strings, but you do have some leverage.
No, and also at the end of the day, like, listen, if it's not a right fit, then this is not the brand I want to be working with either. You know, like there's a million other brands out there, and then something
and that's the thing,
better
you
will
don't
come.
want to be, mastige. You don't want to be for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to think of yourself as a brand, as a business, to think about it that way. Otherwise, you're just like, oh man, I'm so honored you want to work with me. It's like, no, I don't need you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the biggest mistakes they make.
I think it'd be worse to like be taken advantage of. You know, like, oh, I was underpaid now by this brand that I love, and they're using my content with things that I don't approve of.
That they're gonna be upset. It's like, oh, I see my face on a billboard, but I didn't ask you. You can't go back later. Like, what did the contract say? It's like, oh, I didn't have a contract. It's like even worse. Have a freaking contract.
Yeah.
But also just know what you're signing, know what you're getting into, and be careful who you work with.
Absolutely.
And look, there's always gonna be bad actors. People are gonna steal the content. They're gonna use it anyway without permission. Like, you can send a cease and desist. There's other things you can do, but at the end of the day, if you agree to it, even by just agreeing handshake deal, there's not a whole lot we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to know what's in the contract.
Yeah. Why is a trademark important?
Because again, it's an asset.
Okay. And people trademark like what? Their name?
So
like the Pink Print podcast.
Yeah. So you can trademark your source identifiers. So your name, your logo.
Oh, okay.
Your, like, Louboutin has trademarked Louboutin Red. Tiffany has trademarked Tiffany Blue. So colors in certain circumstances. Scents in certain circumstances. Crayon has tried to trademark the scent of a crayon because it's so unique. If you plan to build a bigger business out of it and you plan to franchise or license it out to other people, it's a good idea. Your merch can be trademarked, your community name could be trademarked, anything that identifies you as the source of something.
What do you think is like important to trademark? Like,
I start off with your name. Your logo could change.
You're saying your name like
no, like the business's name.
Okay.
Individual names like Kim Kardashian, Marco Kors, Tommy Hilfiger. Yes, those have become trademark because they're also brands.
Ralph Lauren, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, Ralph Lauren, like all of those. But when you go in to file a trademark, you have to say, is this tied to a person? And that person has to sign off.
Okay, got you.
So can you trademark your name? Yes, I trademarked Kayla Moran Law. You can do it. But unless you are commoditizing your name, you don't need to trademark your name.
Okay, got you. More of like the name of the business.
It's the name of the business.
Okay, got you.
Maybe like a slogan.
A slogan. So a catchphrase that you have. Names, logos, slogans, community names, memberships, podcast names, service offerings. Like if you create a new word for one of your offerings, you want to trademark that. And then you own a trademark portfolio. So your business, again, the LLC will own multiple different trademarks. And that's how when you see these big valuations of a business being sold for $1 billion, a lot of times what they're buying is the assets, whether that's equipment, the IP, the patents, the trademarks, Coca-Cola has trade dress, any trade secrets that are protected, that are hidden, that's what they're buying. It's not just like, a lot of times it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But it's like, what does this piece of paper mean? What is the value of this piece of paper? It's a whole lot more than whatever this cost,
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so interesting.
Okay, we want to get more into contracts and red flags and brand deals. So what are the top red flags creators should look out for before signing a contract or a brand deal?
Perpetuity.
Yes.
I said that one already. Have an out. Termination. What happens in the event of a death in your family?
I was going to say that.
Really sick.
Is that like force majeure?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're related, but they're separate.
Majeure.
Okay. Is that how you say it?
No, I know it's
force majeure.
That's probably how I say it too. No, I just wanted to
force major.
Wanted to make fun of you.
Force majeure. Force majeure. It's French. So that would be your force majeure, or like the TikTok ban. Have an alternative platform clause. What happens in the event TikTok goes down? Are you posting it on Instagram? Or will you agree to that at some other time? Will the rate be reduced or adjusted accordingly?
Oh my God, so much to think about.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about.
Wow.
And the goal is hire me to do it so you don't have to.
Yeah. Forget the red flags and reading, just hire an attorney.
Yeah. No, but I want you to be aware of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I tell my clients, I'm like, a lot of times at this point they send it to me without them looking.
That would be me.
But at the beginning, I'm like, I want to learn your risk tolerance. What are things that you are okay with? Mm-hmm. So I don't waste my time on those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, no, I want you to tell me every single issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some clients are more risk adverse than others.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I had one client, it was a $350K deal.
Wow.
Spaced out over a significant period of time. And he was like, this is not what we agreed to. This section is different than and I'm like, okay, thank you for calling it out because those are the sections I'm going to focus. Don't worry, I'm going to look at the whole thing. But like, I want to know what
totally.
your red flags are. Like, because if you've seen it, you know.
Yeah.
And you need to know when you're reading it. Like, again, ask questions. Yes, I hope you trust me to do it.
No, but also so we understand later. You're not like,
you need to know what you're signing.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, the one signing the contract is you, not me.
Yeah.
If someone's going to get in trouble, it's going to be you.
Yeah.
You're going to bring me into it, obviously. But like, at the end of the day, the person on the hook is you. So you need to know what you're signing.
Absolutely.
So I don't love the whole, like, don't worry, I trust you. It's like, I know you trust me, but like, do you understand?
Yeah, it's like why you hired me.
But perpetuity, termination, mutual termination. Do you get a pro rata share if you've already started doing some of the work, but for whatever reason, you no longer are able to do this contract? Like, your husband moved and all of a sudden you are not going to physically be present and there's an event appearance. Hey, I have to terminate. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it to this event. You know, if we can we take that out of the contract? I will forego the $20K for the event appearance, but I'll do everything else. You know, I'm just using extreme examples here. But
I'm like, I'll take the $20K to show up at this event.
But like, what happens?
I will be there.
But you have to move to Japan, and like, you can't physically be there. You know, like,
I'd get there
because you're moving for your husband's job. Like, stuff like those are reasons why.
Yes.
Then force majeure. You get sick. Someone in your family gets sick. You know, TikTok ban. There's a war that breaks out, and you're no longer able. Like, you just can't. Like, October 7th. It was yesterday. When that happened 2 years ago,
people were not.
Yeah. You know, the world shuts down. No one wants to see that. Like, no one wants to. No one's in their right mind to create content.
No.
Yeah.
Brands don't give a shit. The contract's gonna be like, you needed a post, you didn't, you breached.
Oh yeah, no.
If you know you're going to breach and you want to prevent it, you want to be able to get out of it.
Yeah.
So those are clauses to look at. Indemnification. You know, you want mutual indemnification, and that basically means that if you get sued, that you're defending me, or if I get sued, I'm defending you. Brands want you to indemnify them. They don't want to indemnify you. Make sure it's mutual. Or limit the indemnities. Limit the liability. You know, cap on damages. It could only be the value of the contract. Because if it's unlimited and they get sued for $1 million, where are you pulling $1 million out of?
Right.
If the brand deal was $3K, there's no way you can afford $100,000 in legal fees. Brands want to keep that in there because they only care about themselves.
Of course.
They're in it for themselves. So making sure that someone's advocating for you, whether that's you or a lawyer. A manager can do so much, but that is not their. That's not their.
No, absolutely. And this is something that's legal.
Their support is really the managing of the day-to-day behind the scenes of the contract. Some managers know more than others, and that's great. But I always advise, like, stay in your zone of genius and let the experts. But yes, you are paying for that. But again, they want money, and it hurts to. But again, I also remember a lot of my talent managers. They all only make 20%. So it benefits them to be at volume when they can hire me. But if they just have one or two clients, unless those clients are bringing in a lot of work, you know, a $3K, $5K retainer a month for legal work, not always is going to be feasible.
Yeah.
But it's, again, what are the goals of your business as a manager and your talent, and making sure those goals align and they align with me. What's my philosophy in hiring clients? You know, those are the things that, like, the conversations you should be having that a lot of people don't have, because they all think, like, it's glamorous. I want the money. There's opportunities here. I want the PR. I want this. The amount of times I've seen a manager, it's like, I saw it yesterday. She's like, we love when we have such a good relationship with the PR agencies that they want to send us a little free goodie bags too, because there was extra for the event. It's like, so are you doing this for the goodie bags? Like, I don't get goodie bags. Like, that's not what I'm doing this for.
Yeah.
Cool if I do.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
Are there anything that, like, has to be on the contract that you would, like, go out of your way to put in a contract if it's not there?
Yeah, termination for sure.
Okay, that was termination. If someone doesn't have a lawyer yet, what's one step that they can take to protect themselves before signing anything?
Read it, understand it. Do not, for the love of God, put your contract in ChatGPT. However,
You would.
I would.
if you don't understand what indemnification is, Google it.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Like, just do your research. The best thing you can do is, nowadays, Instagram is searchable. You know, type in, like, what is indemnification in a creator economy contract? Chances are my video or somebody else's will come up.
I do that on TikTok all the time.
Yeah, that's what those are there for. YouTube it. Like, find out. But do not copy paste the contract into ChatGPT, because it has your name, has your address, has other people's addresses, has identifying information that now, guess what? It's out there forever. And mind you, it was already out there.
Yeah.
But don't literally willingly feed it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all so interesting. So let's move in a different direction a little bit. We want to talk about like how you also are a creator yourself. You also started your podcast, Let's Get Candid. And I know that also you're very like active in helping other upcoming attorneys like prepping for the bar. And I see that you, even with your mentorship membership calls, like you have like a lot about community. So I want to just like tell us about how you create these communities. How do you keep them together? There's like a few different ones, but I think that's like really admirable that you take like your time to connect with so many people.
My therapist would argue I should do less of it. Not really. It's more of like
but I think
make time for myself in the
It's
process.
really hard. We talk about it all the time. It's really hard to find community. And here you are like creating so many different kinds or
I think
out.
It goes back to, again, like the goals conversation, but it's really like, it takes a village, right? Like
Does
we
take
all
a
wouldn't
village.
be here if there wasn't a community of people that got us to where we are. So it's like, if I can be that for someone else, I've always said like, if me sharing my story helps one person, then it was worth it that I lived it and that I shared it. So I don't do it as much anymore, but if you go to my podcast, you will see that there is an episode early on where I share my health journey. And I struggle with autoimmune disorder and like depression and anxiety, and like I joke now that it's my superpower and it has helped me because it helped me build the life and career that I have now. But in my darkest days, what saved me was having a community, people online, because the people in my real life weren't there for me. But I can connect with people online during lockdown that really did understand me and did get me, because they were also creating content and they were sharing. And it's like nobody wants to talk about it in real life because everyone's so afraid and everyone's so like, you know, whatever. But like here are people who are willing to talk about it. So like those are my people. That's my community. So with law students, with pre-law students, I didn't have anybody to go to.
Yeah.
I was in COVID, in lockdown, in law school. So not only am I dealing with like the emotional and like the health stuff, but I'm also like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't want to be a traditional lawyer. Like, all these things my classmates want, love them, but like, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
And they don't understand me. And one of my best friends in law school, I share this story all the time. He's like, why are you so hell-bent on being friends with these people who are so, like, they just want to misunderstand you? Like, those are not your friends. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, why do I want to be friends with these people? Like, they're not my friends. And some of them have become friends to me since then. Like, you know, they've evolved and I've evolved, and like we're classmates. Like, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, congrats on the wedding, congrats on the baby. Like, we talk. But like, those are not my best friends. Those are not my people. And I had to stop trying to fit a mold that clearly was not meant for me, because I was destined for something else. Like, I wasn't going to be a traditional lawyer. So it's like with law students, it's like this world, the legal profession is not like there's a path and there's a straight and narrow, and like law school kind of teaches you to follow that path. It's convenient, it's been done before, and it's a surefire way to be successful. But what does success mean to you?
Yeah.
Do you want the same thing? Look, I looked at the writing on the wall and I realized that that's not what I wanted for my life. So for the law students, you know, who realize like, oh, I really want to be in this practice area, like sports or entertainment or influencers or, you know, whatever it is, where it's like, I want to be a mom, but I also want to have some work. It's like, okay, what's a practice area that isn't a heavy workload, but you can do pretty well for yourself as like a side business? You know, I know people that are full-time parents with like law firms on the side because they want to have something that's for them, but like their primary role is a mom.
Right.
Do your thing, like whatever works for you. So that's why I really enjoy having that community. And like I have like a group chat on Instagram that's pre-law and law students, and I have some lawyers in there that like are my friends, and we support, and we're like talking about the bar exam, or I create a lot of content about bar prep or law school, because those are the questions I get, because my story is out there, so those videos are circulating and people will find it, and then so I just continue feeding
the algorithm,
the content, the algorithm, because that's what people are asking me about, more so sometimes than like my actual like day job, which is fine. I enjoy it because I'm still not that far removed from it. I would imagine that in like another 5 to 10 years, I don't know that I will relate to them. I also already don't relate to them. The bar exam is different than what I took.
Yeah.
Wow. But you're still going back to your why and like wanting to help and support.
And that has always been my why for going to law school was I want to help people.
I think a lot of people
community service. That has been a core part of who I am. And so that has always been the tangential, like I always say, like the red thread between everything I do. If it doesn't somehow fit onto that red thread, I'm not doing it. And I started that in law school. And that's like a time management tool also. Like if it's not going to make me feel good, I don't enjoy it, if it's not going to help me get to where I want, or it's not somewhat related to any of those three things, sorry, it's a no.
I love that. I think a lot of times, like when I'm making a decision, I'm like, okay, does this support like my mind, body, or spirit? Which one? And if it doesn't support any of those, like
whatever that metric is for you, but you need to have a filter that you're questioning everything through in dating. You know, like, is this person gonna help me get where I want to go? When friends, like, does this person make me feel good? Do I like who I am with this person? Do I feel like I have to dumb myself down, or like, I don't want to talk about boys and shopping all day. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's fun, but like, if that's every conversation with them, like, and I can't talk about like real life shit, that's a fun friend. That's an acquaintance. That's not my best friend, and that's okay. Not everyone's your best friend.
Absolutely, I agree. You have different friends for different things. Something that's really cool. You were recently in, not me, I was about to say Disney.
DC.
In DC.
I wish I
before the U.S. House Small Business Committee to talk about like content creator policy. Yeah. Which is really cool.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's very, very cool. So like, what are some things that you would like to see change, I guess, like some policies, like quick things that you would like to see so better support creators?
Yeah. I think the most important thing is dedicated resources for creators, like lawyers, like accountants, like wealth managers. A lot of people, they're making a lot of money, but they're not keeping any of it.
Yeah, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much are you keeping and how much are you growing. That's what I always say.
Lifestyle creep, but also, you know, they're living way beyond their means.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask.
For taxes. They don't know that they need to.
We say this, I swear, every single podcast episode. We're like, if you make $1, put 50 cents away.
100%.
I remember Claudia.
25 cents. It doesn't have to be 50. Start off with 20.
I remember Claudia Ostrey said on one of her episodes, she was like, I had to pay the IRS $100,000. They came back for me because she like didn't pay 1 year and she had to pay. She was like, what the fuck? So she's like, no, but in that episode, she was like, put aside for your taxes because I got fucked once, like whatever, back in the day,
like
that she did.
Yeah. I owed last year $12,000 total, and I paid $2.25. So I owed 8 or 6. No, I owed 6 because 12 total. I put 2 each quarter.
Right.
6. But I don't have $6,000 to give you right now. That hurt.
No.
I pulled out of my savings.
No,
guess what I learned? And that's $6,000. Imagine getting like, you know, depending on how much money you make is how much.
No, of course, it's all.
If you're making 6 figures, and these girls are making, you know,
6 figures on a deal sometimes.
Yeah. That's 20, 30, 40K in taxes.
Yeah.
That unless you put it away for that, put it aside, you don't have just lying around. You shouldn't have it lying around. You can have it in assets, you can have it in real estate, you can have it in
invested, whatever. Yeah.
But like, you don't have, and you should not have it just sitting there. So I think that was like the main thing that I asked for, was just support and resources, service professionals, dedicated access. Where can they go to find out who these people are? Because some things are state specific. So they need to know per state where they are. Also, you know, there's creators in Idaho and Montana, and there's not necessarily lawyers dedicated to that in that space. So maybe let's have a federal lawyer, like the same way agents are licensed, have a federal license for practitioners in this industry, because that way I can handle clients from Iowa or Idaho or Montana. Right. Because in their small town, they might not have there might not be a business for them.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make sense for them to do some. I have friends that are lawyers in Idaho, like that are in this space. But like, I use that as an example because I literally know one person, but that's one.
Yeah.
You know, where in New York and California, Chicago, Atlanta, there's a lot more. But it's social media is global.
Yeah.
So like, we're getting it from all angles, and it's like, I can't help you. I'm sorry. But it's like, okay, but then who can? I'm like, a business lawyer, but like the business lawyer doesn't know. They don't understand IP unless they're also IP lawyers, but even it's a different level.
Yeah.
That payment terms, like not having net 30 payment terms under a certain amount, you know, if it's a 20K deal or less, it should not be net 30. You know, if it's 3K, it should be net 30. Like it's 3K.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of times payments never get made. Brands just never pay. Is there recourse?
I've heard this so many times, but I don't understand it. Like, is there not a contract?
You deliver the content and they don't pay you?
Yeah. But I'm saying but is that because there wasn't a contract, or?
No, sometimes there is. Most of the time there is.
And so do they
Can
not
you sue them?
Yeah.
Most and then you're spending so much money.
You're spending so much money to recover because it's 3K. So
yeah, you're just like, is it even worth it?
And it's not.
That's so fucked.
Can you go and talk shit about the brand after?
If you signed a non-disparagement agreement, nope.
Can you tell us brands that have done this?
Not on Damn it.
I was trying to give you guys the tea.
No, I will not do that. Congress asked me to, like, what countries have a lot of bot followers. I'm like, I will not be answering that on the record.
Bot father.
Bot followers.
Oh, I'm like, who's the bot father? Okay.
Like, I will become a meme so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just, and you have to, again, did you sign a non-disparagement? Did you sign a confidentiality agreement? Like, did you say you will never say how much
Damn,
you
see,
make?
what piece of this shit? I think this is the sign.
Okay, go on.
No, but it's just like, this is a sign that it's like, oh, I'm so excited. My first brand deal, I want to sign it. All these fucking companies are looking out for their best interest. And if they're not, some won't pay you or they don't care and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's at the end of the day, like, it's business. Like, I know I would get excited. Like, if I get PR, I'll get excited.
Same.
I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'm down.
You do.
But it's like,
But
we
you
really
learn.
need to remember these companies are most likely huge and they have
have a
their
lot of-
office in New York. And
They have a lot of bargaining power. They can
Yeah.
destroy you. So you have to be very selective with who,
Yeah.
you know, who you work with and what you give them. What power do they have over you? Yeah, they hold the purse strings. And a lot of times payments are late or there's missed payments or they're super delayed and like,
I would
you know,
hate that.
you're relying on that money to pay your bills. So like, can there be some sort of upfront payments or installments, or we need just more regulation on the brands and the marketing agencies who either don't pay or pay really late. We need recovery mechanisms. Also, it's really costly to invest in IP at volume. You know, each video registration, like, it's going to cost hundreds of dollars. If you post 3 videos a day, that's a lot of money. So can there be an easier way to do that, or a more affordable way to do that? Like, I posed a lot of questions, but the main ask was, we need dedicated resources and a federal right of publicity, and then the federal law license. So the federal right of publicity is, if a brand uses your content without permission, your recourse is you could sue them for appropriating your name, image, and likeness without your permission. Again, it's really costly to do that. It's not worth it. Most people don't, but you could, but only in a state that recognizes the federal right or a right of publicity. If your state doesn't recognize it, you don't have recourse at all.
Yeah.
Most states don't yet, or they're starting to, but they're different. Each state has different layers to it. Some are more, they're codified in a statute. Some are just case law. Some are more comprehensive than others. So can we get a federal one that, again, if you're in Idaho and a brand in California is using your content, you still have a recourse.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, a brand deal. Okay, is this the kind of the same like for sponsorships, like
Yeah, brand
podcast
deal
sponsorships? It's like kind of the same thing.
Similar. So podcast sponsorships are usually, or like modeling contracts.
Like if we're out here, like, oh, this episode sponsored by X.
It's a media release usually, but similar.
Okay, are those easier to deal with?
Sometimes they're harder because they want to own the clip,
Oh,
because they want to be able to use that in their own marketing channels for other ways. And hey, if they're paying you a good amount,
yeah.
and you're you can do it for a year, sure, maybe worth it for you. But if it's like forever and they're paying you $300, it's like, no,
Okay, yeah.
maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Well, are you ready for rapid fire?
Yes, we are.
Kick off the rapid fire.
Okay, this is kind of like more fun and personal.
Yeah, this is
so, what's your favorite part of living in Miami?
The food.
The food. Wait, what's your favorite restaurant?
I mean, there's a couple. It depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Top 3 or whatever. First,
I went this weekend, Calista in Miracle Mile.
Kalisa, love, so good.
I know that.
So
like,
good.
I made friends with the owner, and every time.
No, on Geraldo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made friends with the owner, and every time he's like, "You're back," I was like, "I'm back."
It's really good.
It's so good. I love Peruvian food, like Dr. Limon, Nika food, like the Nika place by my house. Like, I don't even know the name of it. It's like a random place, but it's so good.
Yeah.
I like Argentine food.
It's good. Yeah.
I don't go by like restaurants. I go by like the cuisine, and like I just have a spot for everything.
Yeah,
and I don't
yeah.
necessarily know what they're called or where they are. I somehow make my way there.
I love it.
Yeah. Amazing. What's your coffee order?
Cappuccino.
Love cappuccinos. Favorite creator you love following right now?
Mariana Hewitt and Lauren Ireland from Summer Fridays have always been like 2 of my favorites.
You kind of look like
I was
Mariana.
gonna say that when she said that, I was like, I kind of see it.
Yeah.
I get that. Peyton Sarton. My dad's a Marine, so he wasn't in the Marines anymore when I was born, but like her growing up talking a lot about military life, like that has always seeped into the way I grew up, or like what I was attracted to in a partner. And I dated military. And so when I was dating long distance someone in the military for a brief moment, I think we had already met by then, but like she was who I would go to for like, how do you handle this? Like, what are the
Yeah.
And it's like, so like I really started like liking her a lot, and I like her podcast. She has like the unfiltered conversations that people maybe don't want to hear, and she's very realistic. And like, I don't do like warm and fluffy and sugarcoating. She's very like to the point, and I like that. Maggie Sellers, Hot Smart Rich. I think those are like my top.
Cool. Got you want to take it?
A podcast you're obsessed with besides your own right now.
And ours.
Duh, obviously.
Hot Smart Rich for sure, but also Aspire by Emma Green.
I was listening to her and Jen's. Did you guys listen to that episode?
Not
With
yet.
her husband. He's like super Swedish.
No, that's my next one. But the one she did 2 weeks ago was how to design your life like a business. I've been doing that since law school.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, like that episode was like, finally someone vocalized in a way that I haven't been able to.
Yeah.
No, we love her.
Most rewarding part of being a lawyer?
They're so much more empowered because they're like, I can protect myself now. I can like, I understand what you're saying. And it's like, they're grateful that like we prevented a situation from happening. Proactive legal is way better than reactive legal. So for me, it's empowering creators to build and protect their brands, knowing that they have someone that's helping them do it.
I mean, how much better is it to feel empowered rather than like vulnerable?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's millions of ways to help people. So, you know.
Yeah.
One piece of advice you'd give your younger self.
Take a deep breath. It's not that serious.
Okay.
If you weren't a lawyer, what would you be doing?
I always said I want to be more than just a lawyer. And I mean, I feel like I am that. So I think I'm living like the amalgamation of like all the things I would be if I wasn't a lawyer. I just get to do it because I'm also a lawyer, or like combine it with that. So it's really hard for me to answer if I wasn't a lawyer.
Yeah, you're a mentor, you're a leader, you're a business owner.
I do so many other things, and I have so many other ideas and things I want to do, but probably an interior designer, I think.
Oh,
wow.
Which I know you like.
Okay, pop off. That was something totally different.
I love
so that was a fun answer.
Yeah.
Kayla, thank you so much for being here today. This was such a crazy conversation. I learned so much.
Yeah, I think there's a lot in here.
Yeah.
You seem like a badass. You know your shit, and I would trust you with any contract. So
Thank you guys.
everyone listening,
Thank you, Kayla. Pimp yourself out. Where can people find you?
Yeah, Kayla Moran on everything. 3 A's, 2 N's, which is annoying. I want to get the one that doesn't have that, but she won't answer me. I don't even think she uses the account anymore. It's really annoying.
You might have to buy it back.
I've offered. She doesn't answer. I really don't think she logs into that account anymore. It's really sad. And Kayla Moran Law on everything also. KaylaMoranLaw.com.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you, Kayla.
Ciao, bye.
Ciao, bye.